Welcome to the Diplomat Couch, an amazing program where we speak to ambassadors accredited to Zimbabwe and to United Nations heads of missions. Now, the focus is to understand relations between Zimbabwe and the other nations, and also the activities of the same embassies and the United Nations missions in as far as the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals is concerned. Now, my name is Love Mochwangira, and I'm joined on the program by what we have all traditionally known as Turkey, but I was advised that the country has rebranded, so the name is now Turkey. So Turkey is now Turkey. So I'm joined on the program by the Turkey ambassador to Zimbabwe, Her Excellency Berna Kasnakli Versteden. Ambassador, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me on the program, and welcome to Turkish Embassy.
Thank you very much. Now, let's begin our discussion by getting to know a little bit about your career.
Thank you very much. I have graduated from University of Ankara. I have studied international relations. I have done abroad mostly in our embassies, bilateral embassies in capitals like Bishkek, Oslo, Berlin. My last foreign assignment before coming to Harare, of course, was in Geneva at our mission to UN. So there, the last decade, I was busy more with international security, disarmament, non-proliferation. So I was doing multilateral work. I'm very happy to be in Harare now.
Talk to us about some of the exciting resorts that one can visit, you know, when they get to Turkey. You see, Turkey.
Thank
Turkey.
you. Thank you. I'm a bit biased, but it is one of the most beautiful countries. Yes, thank you for pointing out that. What is really exciting about Turkey, visiting Turkey, is it offers everything. There is a versatility of activities, things you can do. To give you an example, if you would just like to lay on the beach and rest and swim, our Mediterranean, Aegean coasts are for that. We have beautiful resorts. But if you are into history, then there you have a lot of opportunities too, because of the rich history of Turkey. Being at the crossroads of civilizations. We have many archaeological sites, museums, buildings to visit. And this again offers a lot of versatility if you're interested into ancient history. Then there you have, if you are into religious buildings, history of religions, then you have all the opportunities too. If you are into a more active side of the holiday, if you play golf, we have beautiful resorts. I know so many people in Zimbabwe are into golfing. If you want to go on to hikes in the nature, Turkey offers again a lot of opportunities. If you want to canoe, mountaineering, that is all there. I can only recommend our viewers to visit Turkey.
Really exciting. Now let's switch, Ambassador, and talk about the economy. What are the major economic drivers of your country's economy?
Manufacturing, of course. We have built many factories, and that is in different areas as well. That is also, we export a lot of those. Of course, services sector, tourism, we were just talking about, is a very important sector in Turkey too. Again, the location of Turkey at the crossroads of many trade paths, in this case, makes Turkey a hub for logistics as well. You can use railroads, roads, sea routes, of course, and that is, if you look at the map, you will see it is also on the passes of to what we call east, west, north, south. So there is, we can discuss a lot about trade there.
Looking at the imports that you bring into your country, what are the main ones?
We do import tobacco, cotton, nuts, so agricultural products. But we will discuss during the program. I guess we would like to do more.
Cotton, tobacco, nuts, and a few others from Zimbabwe. And maybe from the world at large, what are some of the major imports getting into Turkey?
It's a very connected world. So the inputs, some machinery, for example, to produce those manufacturings would be an important input. I should mention energy, of course. We do import natural gas, oil. Turkey's production is very limited in that sense. So in order to have a strong manufacturing sector, of course, you need the energy.
Excellent, excellent, Ambassador. I think on this note, let us take a short break, and then when we return, we focus on the political and bilateral relations between our two countries. Viewers, stay right where you are. This is your program. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to the second segment of the Diplomat Couch. I'm speaking here to the ambassador of Turkey, which we have traditionally known as Turkey, Her Excellency Berna Kasnakli Versteden. Now, Your Excellency, you were posted to Zimbabwe recently, August to be precise. What is your general impression of the country?
I've started to meet Zimbabweans. I find them very, very warm, very welcoming. It is very important to be in a welcoming country when you are first time there, when you are trying to build your relationship, your network. And I should also say I have received a very warm reception from the government of Zimbabwe as well.
Wonderful. Now, looking at the trade figures between our two countries, I know that they are quite low at the moment. Of course, we have begun to see a significant number of Zimbabweans going to Turkey, and they mainly bring, clothing, shoes, and things like that. Now, what is it that could be done to increase the level of trade between the two countries?
I am also doing a lot of thinking about, and I'm working towards that as well. As you have alluded to, the current trade volume is rather low. It's around 30 million US dollars.
30 million both sides.
Both sides. That's the trade volume. That's the figure of last year. I know this year it's already be going to be more, so that is very promising. But more can be done. Thank you for also pointing out the textile products you can find Harare in shops. That is one of the strong areas we are, and I'm very happy to notice people of Zimbabwe appreciate the textile products. I know that the furniture is also coming to Zimbabwe
Okay.
from Turkey, but you have asked what more could be done. One of the best things I believe we can do is we have some not yet entered into force agreements. This is about trade and economy. Once it also enters into force in Zimbabwe as well, then we will have a more structured working relationship. We will have a joint economic commission and so on and so forth. So I think that will provide a very good impetus. I have to also mention, of course, COVID did not help these relations. Now we are picking up again. Hopefully it is over. The business delegations, face-to-face meetings will be picking up. So I'm sure we will be doing more. We have already organized, actually the Embassy of Zimbabwe in Ankara has organized. We happily participated a business webinar which is very successful. So we will be taking steps in that direction, organizing those more, and trying to find areas where we can find mutually beneficial steps.
Beside the products that you already mentioned that we are exporting to Turkey, namely cotton, you spoke about tobacco, and I also know that we export minerals there. Is there an opportunity for other products outside these three to be exported? I'm asking this particular question because I know my brothers and sisters out there will be looking for opportunities to export, okay, whether it's other agricultural products or other manufactured products. What opportunities are there to expand the product base?
There are great opportunities in terms of agriculture, horticulture. I know Zimbabwe is also an important exporter of flowers, cut flowers, for example.
That is true.
All kinds of nuts, and Zimbabwe has very rich agricultural prospects. You can produce all year round. Many products are available here. So also we should look what can Turkey can get more, because the food will always be necessary. And Zimbabwe has a lot to offer in that sense. And you have also mentioned minerals, which is very, very important. Maybe I should just give one example. Turkey will be producing its first ever electric car. It will be
First ever electric car.
First ever electric car.
That is exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah.
It will be on the roads next year.
2023.
2023.
Oh, nice.
That is the centennial year of the Turkish Republic as well.
Wow.
So in electric cars, as you know, lithium is necessary for
We
the
have
batteries.
it. We have it.
And
yeah.
yes, you have said it. You have it. There is scope, and lithium is only one example. I know how Zimbabwe is rich in terms of minerals too. As we alluded earlier, during manufacturing, you need from copper to nickel to iron ore. You need all of them.
Now, the last question on this segment before we move on to the final segment. Can you comment on the number of tourists, Turkey tourists coming to Zimbabwe? And again, I know that tourism is a key sector for our economy here. What can we do to increase those numbers coming from Turkey?
Because of COVID, last 2 years was not easy to travel. I again have to say we don't have high numbers. On an annual basis, we receive like 1,000.
1,000.
1,000. So that is
very low.
It's very low. Sure. But this could be due to COVID as well. So we have to look at
strategies to pick up the numbers.
Strategies to pick up numbers, and it is also I find it very useful. Zimbabwe is also rebranding Zimbabwe and marketing as a tourism destination, which I'm sure will be helpful. So our job is to promote tourism both ways.
Ambassador, we'll take again another short break.
Of course.
And when we return, we talk about cooperation between Turkey and Africa at large, Zimbabwe included. Viewers, we'll be back shortly. Stay right there. Welcome back to the third and final segment of the Diplomat Couch. I'm speaking to the Ambassador of Turkey, previously known as Turkey, Her Excellency Berna Kasnakli Versteden. Now, Your Excellency, Turkey, your country, provides scholarships to not just Zimbabwean students, but also to other African students to study in your country. Can you give us an overview of your educational system?
Turkey, under the brand of Turkey Scholarships, actually, extend scholarships to many countries with a priority to African continent. And we are very happy Zimbabwean students are interested in those scholarships, are availing those scholarships too. These are basically full scholarships that include travel, tuition, accommodation, staying there. They are mainly undergraduate, but these scholarships also include postgraduate PhD, master's degree scholarships too. We are very happy with the interest shown. We will be happy to continue with this. Which you have also asked about the general education system. To give you a brief overview, education is by constitution compulsory for 12 years for boys and girls. That 12 years is divided into 3 equal segments for primary and secondary education. To give you an idea about the numbers, currently there are around 18 million students enrolled in Turkish schools. This is preschool, primary school, secondary school, which comprises of 67,000 schools, both public and private. 8.2 million university students.
That's unbelievable.
In Turkey, both public and private foundations, but mainly public schools, public universities, of course. I have highlighted these numbers to give you the idea how much importance is given by Turkey, the Turkish government, to education. We are a young population too, and it is very, very important, I do not have to say it, to have a good education, and we have very good universities.
Now, as a woman, I know that obviously in Africa, in Zimbabwe particularly, we're all trying to uplift, women. You hear of women empowerment programs and so forth. What are your views with regards to women empowerment?
I take pride in being the first female ambassador, Turkish female ambassador in
The first
Harare.
female Turkey ambassador to
Yes,
Zimbabwe.
that is true. I'm the 4th ambassador here in Harare, but the first female.
The first female
one. It's a coincidence. In the neighboring countries, I have my female Turkish colleagues in Zambia, Botswana, South Africa too, all
great.
Neighboring
great.
countries. As you have alluded to, it's not only in Zimbabwe, in Africa. I think it's a global phenomenon to empower women, because it doesn't make any sense at all to neglect half, in most cases, slightly over than half of the population.
Yes,
it doesn't make any sense in terms of education, economy, but mainly, of course, on human rights. I am an advocate in that sense of women's empowerment, and I should say I have met in Zimbabwe very strong, empowered women from political scene, from business, from bureaucracy, academia. So I'm very happy. In our work, of course, my mission is to bolster ties with Zimbabwe that covers all strata of the society. But being as a female ambassador, I will be more interested to look into areas, if that is also the demand of Zimbabwe, of course, to empower women through maybe educational programs, capacity building, businesses especially interested in doing women-to-women business, because I have had such visitors. They were especially interested in that. I will be looking into areas where we can do a little bit more, maybe on women empowerment.
The Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit. Tell us more about this and what this means for Africa.
Turkey is a strategic partner of African Union since 2008. And since then we have held 3 summits, being the last one in 2021. The title of that summit was Enhanced Partnership for Common Development and Prosperity. I think this encapsulates how we view our relations with the whole continent, with the whole We have at the end of the summit, there are of course decisions and the roadmap, an action plan. We are currently following up these actions. I learned that we have already had a cross-sectoral visit to Addis Ababa, where the headquarters of African Union is. We are expecting visits from them to follow up of the action plans, counter-terrorism, counter-narcotic trainings, health, agriculture, irrigation, so on, so forth.
Right.
Our view, I would be remiss if, of course, our view is to work with African partners vis-à-vis their demands, their priorities, and to forge a mutually beneficial relationship. So we also say African solutions to African problems.
African solutions to African problems. I like that. I like that. Now, Your Excellency, the last question for our discussion.
Please.
What would you say to media reports suggesting that your embassy is or was involved in facilitating human trafficking?
I am very, very dismayed to see such reports. And I should say this was refuted by my embassy. This was also, and I'm grateful for that, refuted by the Zimbabwean embassy in Ankara as well. These reports lacked any substantiated information, so I cannot even say allegations. I am very dismayed, but I am not discouraged, let me say that. I am here to promote our relations. These reports were untrue. There was no single element of substantiating them. But as I said, I'm not discouraged. If necessary, I will tell once more. Turkish embassy, we cannot imagine, nobody should imagine Turkish embassy getting involved with human trafficking. Human trafficking is a very serious, very grave problem.
A very nice conversation indeed that we've had, Ambassador.
Indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Viewers, there we have it. We've come to the end of our program, and it was a pleasure, as always, to have you on board, and we look forward to having you again in the next episode. Thank you.